So I don't worry about being scooped anymore. And also, to a younger researcher this is like their first research project, and they're writing up the paper, and then they do get scooped. Like someone else does put out a paper on a similar topic. To them, I say, just finish what you're doing to the end, because I guarantee you'll have a slightly different take on this problem to the other person, and that's really valuable. And I often, you often have colleagues, students, experts who say, yeah, I downloaded the 4 papers on this problem,
Mhm.
and I like that one for this and that one for that. There's value in saying things twice.
Yeah,
And so you're never
absolutely.
really scooped. You're never really scooped.
Absolutely, absolutely. I guess the only problem is if you were trying to get into some fancy journal and the journal is like, oh, this is
Yeah. But then, well, the physical review lottery, right?
yeah,
PRL. What does it mean to get into a good journal? It means that 2 random people on this earth agreed that your paper was
yeah,
worth
yeah,
publishing. It's not a
yeah.
marker of quality. It's just statistics.
This reminds me of something. It was comparing two different applicants for a faculty position, and they have two papers. You're comparing two papers, one from each, and they have the same number of citations, but one is a PRL and one is a PRA or PRB or
Mhm.
something. Which one is the better applicant, or which one, has the better paper? And the obvious thought is the PRL because PRL is better. But,
Yeah.
maybe the alternate thought is that, it's really easy to get citations when you're in PRL. So if you have a paper that has just as many citations in a lesser journal, maybe that's a better paper and it's a better researcher.
Yeah. Oh, that's
So,
I like that a lot. Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty anti PRL. People would say this is just sour grapes because you don't have many PRLs.
you don't have many
But
PRLs? God.
um, yeah, but there are people who have really mastered, who've gamed the system hard,
Yeah.
and they can get published in PRL like over
Yeah.
and over and over again. No worries. They just know how to do it. And I don't know. It just feels a bit sort of shallow.
Hmm.
Wouldn't it be great to just work on something you're deeply passionate about for a year and write one paper, and that's a perfectly crafted thing, and that has value for everyone?
But
Like
why can't
what
you do
Kataya
that?
does.
Why,
But
why, why don't
you
you?
can. But like I could now, and I'm hoping to start doing
Yeah.
that again.
Yeah.
One of the things you worry about is careers, right?
Right. Oh yeah, it's the students. Yeah, this is the thing, Yeah, people when they get tenure, they're like, "Oh, I don't need to publish anymore. I'll just put everything on the archive." But it's the students that you're
Yep.
writing with. Yeah, of
Yeah. I
course.
mean, it's even worse, right? Because now you feel responsible for people.
Yeah.
Before it was just your own life, and you can
Mm.
screw your own life up. That's fine. But now you're screwing potentially, like in quote marks, screwing up the lives of your students by not
Mhm.
giving them the advantage of getting a couple of nature papers or something in their PhD so that they can have a career later. I don't actually have I don't know what to do here.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know what to do, but I
Because I
do.
mean, you have to follow the chain of incentives, and it's whatever's at the top of that chain is what trickles down. And
Yep.
I don't I don't think the incentives could be different because what's going on, like where does the money come from? The money comes from the government, and so what does the government want? The government wants um, a lot of physicists to be trained. I don't think it's so much that they want there to be professors sitting around having big thoughts, although occasionally something very important might come out of that. But I think what they
Hmm.
want is this glut of people trained in physics who can then go off and work for the defense, uh,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
whatever, or for the CIA, or
or,
whatever,
or, or
whatever.
just even
Like,
private companies that
yeah,
generate income, right? The physicists can probably make a dent in the GDP, right? Just by bringing their expertise to a bunch of companies, increasing the value of these companies by finding more efficient whatever solutions. It's a good thing, right? And
yeah.
so governments certainly want that.
So it's painful for the people going through it, but it's actually, yeah. And actually, I feel like we're always talking about how the incentives are wrong, but maybe the incentives are right given what the people who are setting the incentives want to achieve. They just
Yeah.
don't work for us. But
They don't
um,
work for us, right? I don't think the average taxpayer wants to have more professors who sit around
yeah,
and have ideas, right?
yeah.
And this is, let's face it, right? Taxpayer is our boss, and so that what they want is just enough professors to enable a more skilled workforce that will
Mhm.
create IP, and then they don't need any more, right? That's how many they
Yeah.
need.
Yeah. So maybe it's not even a bug in the system that 90% of physics PhD students don't get faculty jobs. Maybe that's a feature.
It's probably a feature as far as the
Yeah.
the wealth of nations is
Yeah, yeah,
concerned,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
What's sad though is that people going through the process get told otherwise, that they get told that they're a failure
Yeah,
because
that's ridiculous. Yeah.
and so like 90% of people are failures in a system that's designed to do what it's doing.